I'm gonna call it. Spring is finally here. All right, it is Sunday, April 22nd, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Today I'm gonna do a deep dive into these boxes and we're going to possibly rearrange some things. Check out the pollen feeder. This is crazy. Yesterday I had a mound of pollen in here a little bit bigger than this, and they took the entire, almost the entire thing yesterday. And I came and put another mound on top, so that they've probably taken about half of that today already. They are loving this stuff. So we're starting off with the brand new hive that was just installed. Gonna check on the queen and make sure she's out of her cage. I removed the package box the other day. Hey bees, how are ya? Oh, look at all the drones in there. I'm just gonna lay them down at the front. I'm going to make sure the queen is out of the cage. So this hive is very active. Looking really nice. They came from the south and then they came up in a snowstorm. It was freezing cold for the last 2 nights and now they're starting to get some warm days now. It's not as warm as Georgia or wherever they're from. Long gone. Alright, let's see if we can see a queen. See if we can see any eggs. They're all over the honey. A lot of drones here came up with the package. This is the middle of the hive, center frame. There's the queen right there. Right in the middle of the hive. Wow, she looks huge. That is a big queen. Yep. Okay, she's laying eggs. Beautiful. All right, queen is right in the middle of the hive, laying eggs. And I'm just going to close them up. That's all I wanted to know. All right, checking out the Russians. What I want to check today is to see if the boxes need to be flipped, if they need more space at the top. If the queen is laying, if we have brood up here and there's nothing down below, I may just flip them or just remove the bottom box. So let's have a look at what's going on in the bottom first. Oh man, the top is so heavy. This is the Apivar strips from last fall. I just left them in there. See what's going on down here. That is an empty frame. That is an empty frame. They did eat the honey this winter. Yeah, they're packing pollen in here. I'm gonna have to clean off the bottom board. It's a mess down there. What do we see here? Dead bees. Look at the board. I see maybe like a handful of mites, like 10. Not many at all. This is a very clean hive. Packing pollen, a lot of pollen and honey. So this is pretty much an empty box, other than a little pollen and a little honey. And I'm not exactly sure I want to flip yet, because we are having still some chilly nights. So I may just leave this for now. This top box is heavy. I feel like I want to give them another week before I flip them. Let's just see what the brood situation is. Capped honey here. A lot of capped honey. This frame is so heavy. I think this is where we saw the queen last week. Yeah, there's larva. Capped brood here. They're keeping brood warm. Big fat larva. Nice. Tons of larvae. Where are you, queen? There she is. Right at the top. She is busy. All right, there's no sign of any swarming or anything going on here. This is just, she's just building up. Packed with honey. So heavy. They have stores for another winter in here. Queen is here. Okay, queen, frame with larva on it, and then I'm putting an empty frame next to this massive honey frame. This is just a drawn frame. All right, queen is laying here and here. This is an empty frame now, with completely empty for her to lay on if she wants to expand over. This is a full honey frame, and this is a full honey frame here. All right, bees. Russians looking good. All right, so for the entire life of the Balboa hive, they have been living in 10 frame mediums. And my goal this year is to transition them to deeps. And I think I'm gonna go with 8 frame deeps and just keep all my stuff 8 frame. That's what I have to start thinking about as I expand and split and all that stuff. Wow, 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 wow. All right, last time we opened up here, the queen was right up on top. So she's probably up high. I'm gonna go down to the next box. They're definitely over on the afternoon sun side of the hive. This is the morning side of the hive. The sun goes this way in the sky. So this is the cooler side of the hive. Let's go down to the bottom and see what's going on below. Check the bottom board while we're here. Wow, that is a clean hive. Holy cow, there's nothing down there. Wow. It's like no junk in the bottom of the hive. This hive is very efficient, very clean. It's always just been very, very organized. Empty frame, stored honey, some stored honey. Beautiful drawn comb, empty frames. Okay, so the bottom's empty. I mean, there's just a little stored honey, but they're not using the box. And I'm gonna just take the frames from the middle hive and move them down here. I'm just switching the frames from the middle box to the lower box. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I've got this mouse guard thing screwed on the front, and I can't move that. So this box is becoming what was the middle box is just going down. Taking these frames out, putting the middle box frames in order. Nice, beautiful frame of honey right there. Honey and nectar. And this is their outside frame. All right, so I basically just moved the middle box down to the bottom. Okay, and now what was the top box is going back on here. This is the queen box, brood box. I want to get rid of this comb here. Time to move these. All right, let's look at the laying pattern, see if we got any brood in here. We got honey frames out here, that's good to know. They're just prepping cells. No brood here. Oh, this is a packed frame. That is all honey. So heavy. Gorgeous. All right, I think we're gonna see the queen here. These bees are all like kind of sitting very, very still. There's the queen. Queen is right in the center of the frame. There's no capped brood. Okay, there's a little bit of larva on here. I do see larvae in the bottom of the cells. Okay, queen is laying, queen has larva. I'm gonna move this huge honey frame over one. It's just because I don't want her to feel honey bound. Queen is right here, right in the middle of the hive. And this should be some capped brood here, I'm hoping. We got capped brood here that was not there 2 weeks ago. A lot of bees. All right, there's only 9 frames in this 10-frame hive. That's why things are weird. My plan was to put a deep on top of these mediums so that she could, you know, open up and start laying and moving up. But she's not ready to move up yet. She's still, there's only one frame. There's one frame with capped brood and one frame with some eggs and some larvae. And there's plenty of bees in this hive. So I'm gonna close them up here and leave them just as a 2-high for this week. And then I'm gonna come back next weekend and I might see how much brood they've gone, you know, across. And if they're ready, I'm gonna put a deep on top of this, and hopefully the weather will be warmer then. It's a little early to put a deep on top of here, a big empty deep, because it's gonna be a huge cavity up there, and I don't know if it's gonna get chilly at night. I'd rather just leave them with what they have now. They're not gonna swarm. There's no sign of swarming or anything. So I'm gonna give them one more week. We've condensed them down now. They have plenty of honey. They have plenty of pollen, and the queen has space to lay. The weather is warm. We have 3 queens laying in 3 hives in April. There's still 1 week left of April. We're a little bit late, but things are good. Brand new package, laying queen. She's just barely starting to lay, but there's eggs on a good chunk of one frame in there. So out of her cage and laying within 1 week. Perfect. Russian hive is packed with honey, and we have capped brood on 2 frames, and we have eggs on 2 frames, and a laying queen over there. Perfect. Balboa hive, we had 3 medium boxes. The bottom one was virtually empty. So I removed the bottom box. I condensed them down to 2 medium boxes. The lower box is mainly honey and some empty frames. In the top box, we have larvae and eggs on 2 frames. So it was about 10 days ago that I opened that box up, and she had just started to lay. It's been a cold week, but she's only moved over to a 2nd frame. And she now has a frame on either side of those eggs that is fully empty, ready to lay into. And then if she goes further out, there are more empty frames. So she's got a little room to expand this week. I'm going to give it a week. We are going to have very warm weather this week, so I'm going to give it this week, and then it'll be basically 1st of May, and I'm going to start looking in there to getting her to expand into a deep, and then possibly talk about splits. But we need some capped brood, and you know, we need some more bees in there, and there's very few drones around right now, so that's what we're waiting for here. So I still don't have syrup on the hives. We're still dipping down into the 40s at night here. It's going to be above freezing all week, so we aren't going to have any days or nights that are going to be below freezing, 32 Fahrenheit, but it is going to be in the low 30s. And there's tons of honey already in these hives, so they're not like starving. They're not needing syrup. I want to give it just another week. Just let them get a little more, you know, into spring, because it just got warm. So I'm gonna give them a week. I'm gonna come back next weekend, and we're gonna put syrup on the hives. We're gonna probably expand. We're gonna maybe split. We're gonna do all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned. There is more to come, but overall, things are still on track. Thanks for watching.